Okay, Rabotai, this shiur is dedicated Leilui Nishmat Shabbatai HaKohen Ben Flora, Ben Yosef and Flora. This week's parasha is Parashat
Noach.
Noach. Yeah, Noach. Noach. Parashat Noach is on this guy, mainly on the guy named Noach. It's not called Parashat Avraham Avinu, Parashat Noach. The question is, first of all, it's kind of a funky name, isn't it? Noach. You know what Noach means in Hebrew?
Rest.
No. Noach means comfortable. Lanuach is to rest. And that's what it is. Noach, in this case, is two things. It's first of all a matter of being comfortable. Oh, akiseh Noach, a comfortable chair. And also milishon menucha, rest. The root of that is menucha. And menucha is always refers to
Shabbat.
Shabbos, Yom Menucha, Shabbos. Go. Yeah, I used to listen to my Uncle Moshe in my cars in my old days. Yes, I know it all by heart. So reserved to Shabbat, which is Yom Menucha. Of course, you know we also sing the Shabbat. The Hasidim sing the Shabbat. The song. In this case, it says Yona Matza Bo Menuach. The Yonah, the dove, found Menucha B'Yom HaShabbat. Okay. So Menucha B'Yom HaShabbat, the Yonah refers to our neshama, the dove, because like the dove is cooing, you know, the morning dove that they have, not the pigeons that we have in New York City, right? They coo, it's wonderful. They call a Torah Nishma Bert. It's a beautiful sound. That refers to our neshama. So Bala Sulam explains Shabbat is this beautiful analogy. Shabbat is like an object that a person tosses up in the air. And you know what happens? You throw something up in the air. It goes up with the power, with the inertia in which you created by the thrust of thrusting it up. It goes up, it goes up, it goes up, it goes up. It reaches a point, and then it started to slide down, it comes back. So if you throw it straight up, it'll come back to you. I never understand in the Arab weddings when they shoot like this in the air, how come it doesn't fall on them? But it's a different story. So, Shabbat is like that. During the week, Kadosh Baruch Hu so-called tosses us to the world. Out there in the world, in a way, kind of throws us away from Him, in a way, right? So, you're on your own. And on Shabbat, we have to come back. It throws us to this world, to the place of the rotating sword, the chalat acherev mitapechet. You know, the flame of the revolving, you know, sword that is out there, like this huge propeller is out there, right? And we can't come back. That propeller stops on Shabbat, then we come back. And out of this world that we have is a world of constant changing and constant turmoils and up and down. This world is the olam of avodat tikkun. We have to fix in this world all the time. As the Ari explains to us, that's why we need to do berur during the week, selection and the sorting during the week. And on Shabbat it's not, and so on and so forth. But when Shabbat comes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu stops pushing us, and then, you know, outside, and then everybody comes back to its root, to his own shoresh. And when you come back to his shoresh, you don't have to make any effort. Why? Quote unquote, gravity will pull you down. That toss that you were tossed by itself, you're going to come back to your source. Therefore, Shabbat is a matter of menucha. There are a lot of analogies in this week's parasha, especially for Shabbat. And you know, we said it many times. I think it's Arav Tzvi Cook says that all these parashiot and many others, all these parashiot in Sefer Bereshit correspond for, you know, the two parashiot at the time on the same topic. In a way, without getting into this, if you make less noise over there eating the Chinese food, in a way, this Parashat Noach, also, if you look at the aliyot, I'll give you a remez, in the aliyot, because we have Sheva aliyot, every aliyah, then maybe it'll be your project, every aliyah of the Kriyat Torah of this parasha has something to do with the day of, corresponding with the day of creation of Parashat Bereshit, but that's your homework. Now, it would be interesting to see what you guys come up with. So, the meaning of menucha, what is it menucha? What does it mean menucha? Menucha means to rest, but what does it exactly mean? So the spiritual meaning of menucha might be a little bit different. We refer to resting as that the body is resting, right? The body is resting, which is, of course, a possibility, but menucha is the opposite of tnuah, of movement. Being stable in an equilibrium state. There's no force pushing us, rolling us. We are at rest. That's called menucha. Okay? Again, pay attention to the concept of equilibrium. We are balanced on Shabbat. And that spiritual meaning of movement, what we have during the week, are the everlasting changing wills and desires of men, which in a way refers to your disadvantages. Why? Because, let's say for example, here's Shlomo. Shlomo is working very, very hard on his school. Shlomo, would you like to go to a PhD in nuclear physics?
No.
No, so he doesn't have the chisaron. He doesn't have it with him. He's okay with that. I don't need to get more education. Anything that you need, oh, I need to have it. I got to have it. Hold on. Thank you. Everything that you need represents something. One more maybe? Anybody? I'm selling those sneezes. Thank you. Everything that you need represents something lacking in you. So when you desire to have something or to get something, you need to take a very, very close and slow and important look at what is exactly is that you're looking for, without telling stories to yourself, yeah? The truth. The truth. Some people desire watches. So something is in their time management is lacking. People desire clothing, whatever clothing represent, that is missing within them, and so on. So wanting things represent or reflects a chisaron within us, or something that we strive, we need to get. Now, in general, that movement that we have all the time, the wanting and moving, is something very difficult to a person, because I might want to do this. For example, I would like to become a gadol b'Torah, to learn more Torah, and so on and so forth. And yet, together with that, I would like to go to clubs, to not me. I don't like clubs. To clubs, to dance. I hate dancing. And all these things. So that creates a conflict. I'm missing things, and it creates a huge conflict within me. What do I do? What do I do? I need to rest. And I need to rest. That rest, that state of balance comes when there's only one ratzon. One ratzon. One need, one will that I'm looking to get. There's also a klal in ruchniyut, in spirituality, that the overall sum of pleasures, ta'anugot, pleasures, and yisurim, suffering, that a person has is being determined according to the, how should I say it? According to the, I'm trying to pick up a good word, but I can't really find, so I'll go with it. According to the image of his spiritual root. Okay. Now, if something is within your root, or so therefore we want it. And if it's not within our root, Shoresh Neshama, we don't want it. Okay? And that, if you look around and start, can you put the IC on? If you start understanding, if you start looking at what is it that I want, different than what, let's say, Jonathan wants, or the other Jonathan, or Eitan, and so on and so forth, right? You'll understand that he has something missing in his Shoresh Neshama that belongs to him that I don't have, and in a way that's also good understanding that, because it would allow me to accept the other person with their wills and their desires and so on and so forth without trying to mold them into me. Okay, we're creating also more room to people. But and then the other way around, what you don't want, what you don't need, what you don't desire, it's not within your neshama. Now you might understand why in Matan Torah, Am Yisrael, and all the roots, the 600,000, does not refer to people, refers to also something else, refers to Shoresh Neshamot, those branches. Imagine each of the 600,000 was a tree, a trunk of a tree that has many branches. So there were overall 600,000 trees, trunks of spiritual being that we all branch out from those. We all have to be there because somewhere deep inside we should all have that desire, the lacking to learn Torah and to know Torah. And if we find ourselves not desiring Torah, it's only because we somehow either killed this, cut the branch, or somehow got it out of our lives. But really deep down inside, even the most secular Jew has something to say about Torah. Whether it makes sense or doesn't make sense and so on. But every Jew is at least a rabbi in training, if not of a chief rabbi. Think about this. Every Jew. So that is inside of us. That is really inside of us. And so the light of the Ein Sof, the light of the Kadosh Baruch Hu, that is Ein Sof, right? Really comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the source of all rest, of all equilibrium. He's in a state of, he doesn't need anything, he doesn't want anything, he is in the state of perfection. That's why it says, Menucha she'ata natat lanu. You gave us the menucha. Ve'yakiru banecha ve'yid'u, and your children would know what? Ki me'itcha menuchatam. You can't create the state of equilibrium, and if you're not going to put the phone down, I'm going to break them. You cannot create the state of equilibrium if it's not something that has to do or associated with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In other words, if you think you're going to reach your pension age, whatever that will be, or you're going to win the lottery, you're going to have a lot of money, then you're going to have life of peace and tranquility, you are wrong. You are so wrong. You can have all the money in the world, and you're never going to be in the state of tranquility, of equilibrium, of spiritual equilibrium. You would not. So you see that most of the things that you desire needs to be fixed. And you need to look at yourself, why do I want this thing? So, movement, as we said, reflects or represents lacking, and in the state of menucha, which comes from the Ein Sof, there's no such thing as lacking. Okay? Think about this on regard to Shabbat. So as soon as we have a will that is not being fulfilled, I feel the need for speed, very good. I have the need for speed, right? So really immediately the person does something, does a certain motion to get it. Today it's very easy. And that's how we're trapped, right? Today is very easy because if before you needed something, you had to get out of your house and to get into the car or to take a bus and to go places and to find things. And if it's, over the hills and far away, where is it from? Huh? That's very good. Over the hills and far away, and maybe you can go all the way to Kashmir to find something. Today it's very easy. You gotta press the button and you got it all. So and that Amazon button that we press all the time, or this excess even brings about, even makes our desire even worse, and we're very restless about pressing the button. And we always move because we want more. Soon there's going to be great excitement and turmoil for people to get into Black Friday. Right? Black Friday is coming around the corner, right? Ooh, everybody's ready. So before you had to wait in line, today you just have to press buttons. Does it help you? No, on the contrary, just the opposite. Just create a bigger gap in the sensation that you don't have it. Because if you would want something and you realize you can't get it, forget it. You know what? I don't really need it. I don't need it. It's a hassle. I have to go all the way to Montreal to get it. Forget it. It's like, if I got the one time I went, I don't really. You know what? I don't really need it. Today it says, they're selling mammoth tusks in Greenland. Press the button. Well, we get it right away. Shipped out to you. Before you even pay, it's already at your door. It makes things even worse for you. It really makes you fall apart. You need to show restraint. You need to understand, do I really need it? So, the main movement, we refer to Noach movement, in a human, by us as people, is internal. It's internal. It means in the head. We don't really go out, and you see today it's even easier. It's all in the head, and we always wanted like this. And you find that the person lives all his life in a sensation of lacking. I don't have it. I always want more. I want this. Right? More money. And most of us has a lot of wills and desire that really spreads up throughout the entire life. But in Noach, the Torah calls him Ish Tzaddik, a righteous man. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Tzaddik. By the Tzaddik, all his aspects of life were united under one title, and under one will, under one desire. And that is the Ratzon, the will, Ledvekut Bashem, to be attached himself to Kadosh Baruch Hu. To become a tzaddik is not only to do the mitzvot. It's not only doing the mitzvot. It's also, I made a mistake. It's also how you do the mitzvot. In other words, what's your attitude towards doing the mitzvot? What is the reason for you doing the mitzvot? And even more than that, is everything that you do. Whether you're eating, you're learning, you're studying, you're sleeping, everything is directed towards that point, and that is la'asot retzon Hashem, to do what God wants. Now, you think about your little things that you think about under the blanket when you turn off the light and nobody's there. As they say, what do you see when you turn off the light? And I cannot tell you, but I know it's mine. You think about all these things and you got to ask yourself, is that what God's really want me to do? Even if it's something that is beheter. Whether it's driving a certain way or being with your wife in a certain way. Is this really what God wants me to do? Is that the way He wants me to do things? When I do a mitzvah, is that really the way that Kadosh Baruch Hu wants to do the mitzvah? How do I do the mitzvah? How do I daven? How do I pray? How do I do things? Okay, just finish with this thing. Take this out. Yalla, throw it out. We go. Are you looking forward to do the mitzvah? Are you looking forward to do the mitzvah? When it's mitzvah that has to do with desire, with behemoth desires, And let's say, for example, it's a certain time we have to go to do this, and it has to do with desire, right? Oh boy. Let's say, you're going to be ready like at 4 o'clock in the morning before. You skip Talmud Torah, you forget about your mother, about anything. The whole world has stopped going. But when it's come to do other mitzvah that has nothing to do with desire, it has to do with Hashem, to put tefillin on, to daven on time, to do all these things. We don't want that, everything is a burden. Everything is difficult. And then you have questions. And then all of a sudden, when you have those questions, what happens right away? You start to have doubts. Why do I really need this? The rabbis are really crazy. Why would they make up all these things? Second day of holiday, not second. I don't understand you. What's the problem with the second day of Yom Tov? What's the problem? You want to go to work? Don't you love work so much? I didn't think you like work so much. What is your problem? Honestly. What's your problem? What's the big deal to have another day and to be thankful to Hashem? When it says in the Parashat, Rak Ra Kol Hayom, right? When it says in the Parashat, Rak Ra Kol Hayom, what's the Sofet Tevot? Rak Ra Kol Hayom. Sofet Tevot?
Rish, Chav Hey.
Wrong. Amalek.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Amalek. Rak Ra Kol Hayom. Ra, Ayin.
Okay.
Kuf, Rak, Kuf.
Okay.
Kol, Lamed. Hayom, Mem, Amalek.
Oh.
To do bad all day long is that to start having again the doubts in your head. And then you're going to do bad. Now, sometimes we have situations that are hard for us, and then we're going to talk a little bit about this now. So the menucha that we have, the rest that we have, the state of what we call Yeshua Dad, which is the highest state that a Jew can be. Yeshua Dad. It's all good. My mind is all set. There's no interruptions. I have Yeshua Dad. La'asot avodat haboreh. It's the highest level a person can reach. Can only be achieved when I am in unity with the purpose of what I'm doing and with the will of God. During the weekdays, our abilities, our tools, our talents are always bepirud. They're all separation. That's it. We are in Olam HaAsiyah. Olam HaAsiyah is Olam of Tikkunim, fixing things up. Birurim, selecting all the time, determining good, bad, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. That's it. There's good, there's bad. There's no kacha kacha. If it's good, good, do it. If it's bad, bad, don't do it. The problem comes, Efshar. Maybe. I'm not sure. 1 second, buddy. How come you're not sure? You didn't learn. I said, I didn't learn. If you're going to be a professional, whatever it is that you do, medicine, construction, dentistry, whatever you guys do, don't you want to know all? Won't you feel embarrassed if somebody says to you something, I don't know. That's what did I hire you for? Guys, we are professional Jews. We should know everything about our job. Do we? Do we want to know? So, a person needs to do all his great efforts to be able to elevate himself to the world of unity, to Olam of Achdut. And there's Olamot of Achdut, there's 2 Olamot that we have, which is Bria and Atzilut. And that can happen in Tfilah, that can happen in Limud, when you pray, that can happen when you learn, that can happen when you make bracha. So look at this. All these things that we do, we always slack. We slack on davening, we slack on learning, and we slack on brachot. So even the chances that we have during the week to somewhat connect ourselves, even with that we lack. On Shabbat is easy. On Shabbat is easy. After we light the candles, right, the olamot themselves, the world themselves really elevate themselves by themselves. In other words, the train is on its way, it's left the station. All we need to do is to make sure we're not going to interrupt the process of whatever is happening, and that process is called Shabbat. That process is called Shabbat, and there are 3 different levels on Shabbat, or 3 different stages on Shabbat, and that's why when we say in this part you get the added ruach, nefesh. On the other part you get the added ruach, and the other one you get the extra neshama. You get the 3 stages. You can't get them all at once, so we get it throughout the Shabbat. We get the other parts of the Shabbat, which slowly we elevate ourselves, we bring ourselves up, and again that's why the mincha of Shabbat is the highest level. If you're going to start at the highest level, it's going to be terrible. The highest level is in mincha and during mincha time, in order to allow us to go from one elevation up to the other. Up to, that's the way it works. Of course, again, as we says, until mincha Shabbat, that's the peak, and that's Shabbat mincha. It's called Retzon HaRetzonot, and we spoke about it previously, a few weeks before, when it's called Retzon HaRetzonot. That is that Retzon HaRetzonot represented by the tzohar, by the window, by the skylight that Noach put in his teva. Tzohar milshon tzohoraim. That the Retzon of Hashem is going to be bright to him as the sun is at noon. That's the tzohar, the window that he put out there. That is the gift. That is a gift. Those gifts, those stages, and that Retzon HaRetzonot and the holiness of Shabbat allows us as humans to enter a different reality, and that charges the whole entire Shabbat, charges on the Shabbat, the whole entire Shabbat, and beyond. And beyond. So far so good. You guys understand? You want me to stop? So let's talk about the rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow, I don't know the rest of the song, nor I care. So somewhere over the rainbow, regarding the rainbow itself, the Mekubalim tell us a tremendous clue regarding our Avodat Hashem, what we need to do. Now, it says, "V'haya be'anani anan al haaretz, v'nirhata hakeshet be'anan, v'zacharti et briti ma'asher beini u'veinechem u'vein kol nefesh chaya bechol basar." These are the pasuk that he talks about it. "V'lo yihye od hamayim lemabul leshachet kol basar." The rainbow has a special thing. And what do we learn from the rainbow? First of all, rainbow in Hebrew, it's called keshet. Keshet means a bow, like bow and arrow, right? Stuff that you cannot buy in New York City anymore. So the keshet is a sign for the covenant in which Kadosh Baruch Hu had made with us as humans, not to bring any more a flood like that to the world. Now, every time there is a state of hitgabrut adin, the quality of judgment, the measure of judgment is trying to overflow the world, then we have the keshet be'anan, the rainbow in the sky, right? Wheels in the sky keeps on. Who sings that? Let's see.
Journey.
Very good. Very good.
And you have to make a bracha on the rainbow?
And what bracha do we make on the rainbow?
I forgot.
One second. We just wait. We just said that it's a very important sign, and if it's so important, how come you can't remember?
And I never learned it.
Oh, so I'm going to teach you now. When you see the rainbow, we make a bracha. In a way, we know that the rainbow comes from Midat Adin, there's judgment. So why do we make a bracha? We make the bracha for the grace of God, that what He's doing for us when He gives the rainbow. The bracha is Baruch Atah Hashem, bless you Hashem, Zocher Habrit, He who remembers the covenant, Vene'eman Bevrito, and is loyal to His covenant, V'kayam b'ma'amaro, and it is established by His words. The whole entire world is established by God's word that I'm not going to do this anymore. You have to make a bracha for that. It's a big thing. Especially if you see a double rainbow. You see all kinds of rainbow. There's tremendous things to learn from that. Now, the Sefer Ma'or Vashemesh says that the keshet, the rainbow, represents or symbolizes the tzaddik himself. Maybe that's another sefer we should get, but then whatever. Is the tzaddik himself. The tzaddik, why? Because he was nidbak. He was attached to a Kadosh Baruch Hu, and he connects all creations in the world to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. He's the platform. He's not the mediator. He's the platform that connects all Kol HaBruim to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. And he could be mevatel all the dinim and all the gzerot, all the bad decrees that could come, chaz v'shalom. And that will be a zikaron, how it's going to be, in the covenant of the rainbow. And he is the tzaddik, is the one that we say Yesod Olam. He's the foundation of the world. Those people who are, worthy to be called tzaddikim. And the whole world is suspended on those pillars, on those people. And you could be one also if you want. But I never heard a person saying, Rebbe, I want to be a tzaddik Yesod Olam. I want to drive a Ferrari. I want to be Donald Trump. I want to have a casino. I want to be a real estate mogul. This will be an oligarch. Oligarch, whatever it is. Knedalach, whatever you want to be. I never hear a person say, what should I do to become a tzaddik? Right? And it's known, for example, that in the time of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, there was no rainbow in the sky at all. There was no rainbow. Why? Because he exempt that generation by him being there for Midat Adin. So when we see a rainbow, we got to do tshuva right away because we're not doing so great. And the rainbow is in a way as a barrier or as a block, a roadblock for Midat Adin to overcome and flood the world. So we need to be very grateful for that. So, but if you think about this, in a way, the rainbow, without getting into physics and optics and so on and so forth, talking about spiritual thing. In a way, the rainbow should have been reversed.
Yeah.
Should have been like this.
Yeah, we're shooting.
Like a falugman should be, like a motorcycle, up like this, not like that. Now, if you look at the rainbow is really pointing up to heaven. What is it? When I hold a bow and arrow, I don't hold it like this. I hold it like this. Where the curve is really pointing to my target. So in a way, that's aiming towards Kadosh Baruch Hu. Right? To show us, and the reason is to show us that Kadosh Baruch Hu says that He also, quote unquote, holds His bow and does not shoot upon us all over the world whatever needed to come to destroy the world, because right now that situation is bad. It's symbolism against that. And the Mekubalim says, Keshet. Now guys, if you didn't pay attention until now, okay, we'll go outside and I'll settle down with you. But if you're not going to pay attention to what I'm about to tell you now, you're going to suffer. And I don't want you to suffer. So even, I know Baruch Hashem, you're all paying attention, but pay more attention. Pay more attention. It will help you. So the Mekubalim tells us, Keshet comes from the word koshi, difficulty. And sometimes it's very hard to pull a bow. If you have 80 pounds, 100-pound Joe bag, it's very difficult. And we need to know how to deal with difficulties. One of the root of our problems is that we don't know how to deal with difficulties, with difficult times. And in a way, our attitude towards difficulty is what causes us to basically destroy the world. If a person, everything goes out for him, everything is easy, everything is hunky-dory, pichikin, akol tov v'yafeh, right? So everything is okay. But if things don't go as he had planned, if he didn't get accepted to the school he wanted to get accepted to, if the girl that he wanted to marry didn't want to marry him, or the guy didn't want to marry her, or you didn't get the job that you wanted, or you didn't get whatever you planned to get or to do, or you plan today that today in the morning is going to be one good thing after the other, right? So you plan that the first person is going to open the door because you want to say a nice hello. You want to be like Mr. Bonafide. He's going to smile at you, and you're going to say to him, "Good morning, Herr Miller," right? Good morning, and guess what? He didn't smile to you. You saw a guy and he's a grump. Like this, like look at New York City, yeah. And the second one will do this to you, and the third one will tell you how wonderful you are, and the fourth one, I don't know, we're going to clap hands to you, and the fifth one is going to say, "Hey, buddy, you're good looking," and you're gonna come, and the boss is gonna tell you you have a raise. And we're going to promote you to, whatever, and you're going to sign the deal of your life, and so on and so forth in La La Land. All the way to the White House, like you. But nobody comes to you. Nobody says hi to you. Nobody is astonished by your greatness. Nobody is looking at you. And not only that, they don't look at you. When they look at you, they make a sour face. Right away, your whole entire world is bad. Everything is horrible, and you're not so Mr. Duke can do it all, and you're angry all day long, and and so on and so forth. Everything goes with nerves and anger and pressure and stress, and then you start cursing, and you start, being what most of us are all the time. And really, this is really because maybe in a way, it also because we care more what the people will think about us and will say to us than actually what God will think about us and will say about us. We put too much emphasis on people, on what they want and what they do and so on and so forth. We don't really care what God would say about us. And we therefore always try to appease everybody around us instead of appeasing one thing, which is God. You appeased God, you did what He wanted, the whole world is singing hallelujah to you. We have it all wrong, Rabotai. A person needs to learn that there are difficulties in the world. There are difficulties in the world. And the difficulty, however, is only an illusion. It's just an illusion. It's before you were already in a, It's just an illusion, Rabotai. The rainbow in the sky, and Richard Blake was rainbow, right? The rainbow in the sky looks to us like something strong, like something tangible, like a physical entity. It looks real. But there's no bucket of gold at the end of the rainbow. Maybe Pocahontas, but not anything at the end of the rainbow. And it doesn't have any mamashut, any reality. And that tells us something. And that tells us something very, very important. You should know that there are many things that are imaginary in this world. And things are difficult for you. And if you get hung up on that, and if you get caught up on that, that's going to be your own personal flood. Your own personal flood. When was the most difficult time for you in high school? Anybody here? Yeah, when?
English class.
English class. Yeshua, what was difficult time for you? Anybody? Nobody else was in high school? A bunch of animals here?
9th grade maybe.
9th grade, okay. Yeah? How about you, Jonathan?
Yeah, same
9th grade. Eitan?
So easier.
For you, it was probably hard to go to school, right? Second Eitan over
I
there.
didn't go much.
Huh? Yeah, why? Because it was hard for you to go to school, and so on and so forth to all of you. But guess what? It's over. So now you say, that's a 9th grade is a piece of cake. And now you're thinking about, oh my goodness, I have to learn for my MCATs. Oh, holy moly. This gefrellig, not so bad. What's an MCATs if the doctor tells you have a swollen prostate? Okay, I'll take the MCATs. Put everything in perspective. Whatever looks difficult to you is only now. It's never in the future. It's never hard in the long run. And what that imaginary difficulty and your sense that it could not be overcome and is here to stay forever will cause you to give up. I think that the Jews never went to Israel, back to the land, throughout the history after the destruction of the Roman Empire and so on and so on, because it's a hard one. It's so hard, but it's not hard. All they have to do is just go. There are no Palestinians at the time, or Russia, or the United States, or United Nation, United Arab Emirates, and nobody stopped them. It was a no man's land. Or everything else that you wanted to do or you wanted to be, and you said, oh, I can't do it because it's too difficult. And then you come up with your excuses. It's so hard. It takes so much time. There's no this. You want to live in Texas? So go to Texas. There's no schools there. So what do the people in Texas do? Send the kids to the ranch. They send them to yeshivas. Why is it hard? Because it's an imaginary. You became trapped with your own virtual reality. It's not real. It's not difficult. Just like the rainbow. Now, if you're going to be careful when it's so-called hard for you, you just realize that there are many different passages in the world that you have to go through. It's a passage. Nothing is forever. Even cold November rain.
Who's that?
Guns N' Roses. Who's that? And really, at the end of every hard summer and winter, there comes a spring. Everything is passages. Ma'avarim. You have to go through it. Don't get stuck in, as a person is, it's so dark in here. Immobile. Yeah, you develop anxiety. You can't move. You freeze. And you get overwhelmed by that and you freeze. Just keep on going. Keep on going. It's going to be good. Don't stop. Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on. It's going to be good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Hashem is not going to leave you alone. Hashem is always by your right side. Never. What are you afraid? Imagine like this. You go to a very dangerous neighborhood. I don't know. You go to East New York at like 2:45 in the middle of the night, right? 2:47. Or you go to Dearborn, Michigan, like Arab Caliphate of Michigan over there, right? You're gonna go alone. You're going to be might get a heart attack. I'm going to tell you. Listen. You have a unit of Delta Force on your right side and Navy SEALs on the other side, and you have Rangers in the back, and you have Marine Recon in the front. Mini Michael, Miss Molly Gabriel, and right. Let's go, guys. A Kadosh Baruch Hu is with you. The Terminator. Are you going to be afraid? That's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you feel good about it. But the Ribono Shel Olam, that is always there for you, Melech Malkei Melachim, he has all the power in the world, in the universe. You're going to be afraid with him? Gam ki elech begates al mavet lo irara. Even if I'm going to work in the valley of death, I'm not going to be afraid. Nothing's going to happen to me. Why? Lo irara. I'm not going to be afraid of bad things happening. Lo irara. I'm not going to be afraid for bad things. Why? Ki ata imadi, you're with me. And what does David HaMelech says? Mishantecha, right? Shiftecha, Hema Yinachamuni. Shevet means you're with. When things are hard for me, I know this because you care about me. I'm not be afraid. That's my nechama. What are you afraid? Well, Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't have abilities to make you. Maybe the Kadosh Baruch Hu loves you so much. You wanted to go to this university. Kadosh Baruch Hu said, "Tishma li achamor," as they say in English, in Arabic, you're Josh, right? Josh ze chamor katan. Isma, Josh. Ze lo tov. It's not good. It's not good. It's not quiet. It's not good. Haram. Why are you going to go there? No, I want to go there. Tishma, אני אומר לך, it's not good for you. No, I'm going to go there. You try. הקדוש ברוך הוא said, תשמע, אני רואה זה, באמת חמור. The only diploma I have is being a חמור. Okay, guess what? We don't accept you. למה? כי אם אתה הולך לשם, מי יודע מה יקרה לך? Who knows what will happen to you? So הקדוש ברוך הוא close your door. So okay. If the door is closed, so I was supposed to try somewhere else. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I was not persuading myself that that's the right thing. That's the only place for me to go. There's so many thousands of universities in America. Dafka to this university wanted to go. Now go somewhere else. Probably your mazal is going to be better there. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows what he does to you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is guiding you. Let HaKadosh Baruch Hu guide you. Not your fears and not people, what people will tell you. That's a false guidance. That's a GPS that will take you to Antarctica instead of to Canada. You don't want to go there. Don't be afraid. And when you go to this ma'avar, what's the word ma'avar, right? Ma'avar, mem, ayin, bet, resh. Ma'avar, mar, ayin, bet. Yes, it is hard for you. It's bitter. It's difficult. But b'shem Hashem, ayin, bet, right? Ayin, bet, there is the tremendous chesed. The tremendous chesed of Shem ayin, bet. That represent all the chesed in the world. Don't worry about it. Even if it's bitter, you're going to make through. You don't need to panic. You don't need to do desperate things. Accept the fate and go with it. Don't make mistakes. You need to understand that you need to live with all the colors of the rainbow together. And you need to understand that sometimes there's going to be red light on you, and I hope not from the red light district, and there's going to be a purple light to you, and there's going to be a green light to you, and a yellow light to you, and there's a white, and there's sometimes going to be black. But you should be okay at all the stages, whatever light is being shed upon you. And everything, you should pass everything. Everything should go, and this is going to go. And after the rainbow comes the rain, and with the rain comes the shefa, comes the abundance, comes the bracha. You just need to go through the passage. Walk through the door. Walk the corridor. Don't be afraid. Whoever doesn't know that, all of a sudden comes the rain, right? And a person that doesn't know that, Bar Minan, that's it, the end of the story. Why? Because he thought that it's going to be a nice shiny day, a good clear day, 70 degrees, 30% humidity, light wind coming from the west. You got it all perfect, right? You that's what you thought it's going to be. And then all of a sudden, you go out a nice shirt, Calvin Klein shirt, you go like this. All of a sudden, Bamabul mishamayim, Geshem mishamayim, Kol hayom tipot hamayim. All day long there's rain. And all of a sudden, that so-called confuse everything to you. And all of a sudden, that rainy day, and by the way, in the world, to most people, rainy day is a sad day. It's a sad day. I think that rainy day is a great day. By the way, every day is a great day. As first of all, as long as I'm here to experience that, okay, I'll take it. But for example, how beautiful it was today. Wasn't it beautiful? It was so romantic. All I wanted to do is have like a cup of nice coffee, black please, put a little jazz over there, maybe Miles Davis in the vinyl, playing Miles Davis, or whatever. Yes, Miles Davis is good. I like Miles Davis. Put some Miles Davis. Put some. I didn't want to say bourbon, but because that's why I said coffee. Look at the rains, autumn leaves are falling down. Right? It's beautiful. It's romantic. It's gorgeous. Why do you think it's bad? You get wet, it's good, you come home, you put your slippers on, you feel nice, right? And I thought it was so bad. I thought it was so bad. And it's not so bad. And I waited a little bit for Yitzchak to come. Now, instead of people should be happy with every tippah, with every drop that falls, why? And they should take a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Why is that? Because every tippah gives you livelihood. Imagine there is a chas v'shalom drought, bar minan, we're gonna die. So rain is good. So what do we, instead of thanking Hashem, what do we get? We get complaints to Kadosh Baruch Hu. That everything is bad and so on and so forth. Why have to be stuck at home and so on and so forth? Maybe because people don't really like to be home. But if they don't like to be home, why they always run from work to home and then they run from home? There's something wrong with this picture, isn't it? So let's say, for example, you have a free day, which is not Shabbat, but you have a free day, and all of a sudden, rain comes down. Everybody is so depressed. So comes Noach and tells us, guys, don't worry about it. Bait is your hatzalah, is your rescue, is your refuge. Not the outside. Not the outside, or what we think is outside. That's not necessarily good. What is good is just the opposite. To be home, for example, to be with your family, to call your friends over, to be there together. That is important. People at the time of Noach destroyed the world. Noach was put in the teva, and in this great chaos of the ark, animals, shmamamals, and so on and so on. Why did Kadosh Baruch Hu put them in the teva? Because they know the story of this rabbi. A guy comes to him, he says, Rabbi, I gotta talk to you. He says, what's the matter? My wife. What happened? I don't know. She wants us to move out. She wants a bigger house. I don't know what to do. I don't want to move, but she's driving me crazy. A bigger house. So the rabbi say, okay. So what should I do? You have a chicken. Put the chicken in the house. The guy say what? I said, put the chicken in the house. So he comes home, so his wife says, no, what did the rabbi say? We should move, right? Do whatever the wife says, shalom bayit. He said, no, he said to take the chicken, to put it in the house. That's what the rabbi say. Yes. Okay, do it. After a week, he said, I got that, go to the rabbi again. The rabbi says, you have a goat. Put the goat in the house. What? And so on and so forth. It goes to the cow, it goes to the horse. Like, Rabbi, I don't know what to do. I'm going crazy here. Call your mother-in-law. What? And then the woman says, wait a second, I'm going to go to the rabbi. Let's go together to the rabbi. So, okay, going to the rabbi. Rabbi, we can't live like this anymore. We have the dogs, this, my mother, my cat, The rabbi says, what's the problem? Take everything out. Just be your wife and the two of you and your kids at home. So they go home, they do it. Next day the rabbi sees the guy, says, no hunting. Rabbi, it's a yofi. I feel like a rich man. It's a big house all of a sudden. Thank God you told me to take everything out. The problem is not with the house. The problem is with your attitude. There's no problem with the house. So if it's a rainy day and you thought to go somewhere to drive upstate and to pick apples like an idiot, right? And all these things. Stay home. Stay home with your kids. Where are you going to be? You're going to be in the car with all other idiots that go on the interstate, right? Sitting in traffic on the way back, standing in line to pick up apples. And so you want an apple, so you have to grow them in your backyard. But no, you're going to go with everybody else. Your kids are going to say, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And you get angry at them. Your wife will say something, you get angry at them. It's a waste of time. Stay home. Put a little Miles Davis, right? Put some Dexter Gordon. Put the kids a Baby Shark, right? Play with your kids. Wrestle with your kids on the floor. Build trains with them. Eat something together. Guys, what do you want to eat? We want to eat pizza. We'll have pizza. Make sure they're all like this. Put them to sleep. Sit down with your missus. Put on the fireplace. This time take a little bourbon, neat in your cup. And say, I am so lucky. The tikkun that Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted to do by placing Noach with all the animals is to be able to create healthy families. Healthy families create healthy world. And guess what? In the Teva, you never heard that it was stuffy for them and there was animal poop there. It was good. They were supposed to appreciate one another, to learn to appreciate one another. You can call your friends, that's why you have friends, to be together. So if you look at our society, that we're going back to the stage of Noach before the Teva, is because our homes, our houses, which are the foundation for our society, are not operating appropriately. The problem is not necessarily with the society outside, it's more with the environment inside our houses. And that needs to pay attention to, that we need to fix. So for example, when you eat dinner, put your phones away. Do something with your kids together. Invest in your relationship with your wife, your husband, your children. Play chess with your kids. Play cowboys and Indians in the house. Do whatever you want. Give them attention. They acknowledge that they're alive. If not, they will go somewhere else to acknowledge that they're alive. Yes, Pocahontas. Leave the bridge call for later. You understand, guys? So this is the message that I have to tell you. The message that I have to tell you is, if difficulty comes your way, don't give up. Don't give up. Push through it. It's just a passage. Invest in your families. Invest in those little things in life. And maybe the most important thing of all, never see problems. There's never a problem. There's only solutions. There are no difficulties. It's just a product of the imagination. There's only solutions, no problems. And our problem is that we complain too much. So stop complaining and start doing. Shabbat Shalom.